And with everything that we're doing every single day and all the things that are going on in our businesses, to try and remember to start over is hard. You know, it's like spinning plates. Unless you're really good at it, one of them's going to fall. So what I submit to you is you have to create a system for it. You have to create that system that keeps you just plugging away so that when you're over here, you go, all right, I got to go right here. So you know before when I said you can have a couple target markets, and I think that's really great? When you create your prospecting system, you start with one target market. And you start the process, and you start, you know, whatever your process is, that you're going to try and get warm introductions. And you're going to start moving people through the funnel and set it up so that when you're at a certain point with those prospects, you start now with the next target market. Does it make sense? And now, do you remember when you were in elementary school and we used to sing row, row, row your boat in rounds? Right? Does everybody remember that? So round one was over here, and then when you got to a certain point, round two started over here, and then you got to a certain point, round three started over here, and you always wondered, why in the world are we doing this? Why can't we all just sing it together? So that's what it's like. When you get to that certain point, start over here. Now you have to have a system, go ahead and click, for selling. How are you going to sell? What I mean by this is, what are you going to do when you're in that appointment? I consider selling when you're in the appointment. Okay? And I believe you don't sell anything. You have your list of questions, and your list of questions have to be vast. You have to ask questions about the company, about their philosophy, about how they decision make, about the budget, about the timing. All of these things so that you can get a really good feel for who are these people, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. And then you have to ask all the questions about what they need. What's the situation they're having? What's the problem? What's going on with it? Don't assume you know that you have a solution that can help them, because quite frankly, you may not, for two reasons. One, once you ask them all those questions, he goes into, you might not be able to help them. It might be bigger than they even thought when they invited you in. And here's the other reason. You may find out you don't like them. People who don't give you information, when they bring you in to help them solve a problem, and then they won't give you the information you need to help them solve the problem, is probably not someone you want to do business with. Because if they're not going to be forthcoming and they're not going to work in partnership with you on that level, you can't work with them. You will fail every time. They will not be happy. They will take all your time. Those are the people you want your competition to be doing business with. And they won't pay you either, and that's a whole other thing, right? So have a system, have a process for how you're going to ask these questions, how you're going to get the information, and what you're going to do with it. If you find out they're a fabulous company, but you don't have a solution for them, tell them. Don't try and figure out how you're going to have a solution for them. Tell them you don't. And refer them to someone else who does, okay? They will love you forever, and they will refer you forever because you were honest with them. And it's a huge thing. All right? Because they know. They'll say to people, oh, go to her. She'll always tell you the truth. What's better? Okay? And the second part of selling is, okay, so then you find out you love them and you can help them. Don't give them the solution in the conversation. Say to them, I believe I can help you. I'd like to take this information back to my office and create a proposal for you based on what you told me. Can we set up a date for me to come back in and present that proposal to you? Do you know what you just did? You said to them, you're special. You could have a solution in your head. You could have one solution that just fits everybody. They don't need to know that. You want them to know that you really heard them, that you want to process the information, and that then you want to go back and give them a solution that is theirs. Because what you're going to do with your proposal is you're going to frame it where you repeat back to them what they told you. So they know that you heard them. Do you know what I was talking about value before and the value that you bring? I'm going to share another dirty little secret with you. Your prospect and your client wants to know that you want to do business with them, not just anybody. Okay? That's why I don't like prospecting via email. I think it's lazy. I think it just shows that you just don't care, that you're going to scattershot it out there, you're going to send it to dear blank, And you're just gonna see who responds. And at the end of it, you say, if this sounds good, give me a call. I'm going to ask you to never say that at the end of anything ever again. Okay? Say to them, and I'll be calling to follow up. And that's if you're sending a letter. You know? Type up a letter, handwrite the envelope, stick a real stamp on it, take it to the post office, put it in the mail. You want to show them that you value them, and you want them to be your client. And then once you have them, you want to show them how much you value them. Which leads us to the last one, which is have a system for follow-up. Because remember when I said how busy we all are? So we start to prospect, and then things are going good, and we're meeting with people, and we're selling, and we're doing proposals, and then we stop. Guess what else happens? We make the sale, we thank them very much, and then we're off. Right? No follow-up. And you know what? I believe it's for two reasons. One, because we are so busy, but two, because we are taught to be hunters. Right? Right? You're the salesman, you're the hunter. Go out and get new business, get new business, get new business. If I say to you that a lot of your new business is with your current clients, what do you think about maintaining a relationship with them?
80%.
That's exactly right. Why would you work really, really hard? Meeting, you always have to meet new people, but why, this is a person who already trusts you. They already like you. You've already proven yourself. Why wouldn't you go back and find out what else you can do for them? And I'll tell you another reason why. Because what you say to yourself is, they'll call me when they need something. Because I told them everything I do. Love how that all comes back around. That's exactly what we do. And that's the problem with it. You may have told them, they didn't hear it.
Yes.
Right? So when you're building your relationships with your clients, it's because you're going back in and you're just asking them about their business. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're saying, so what's going on? What are your plans for the year? What kind of initiatives do you have going on? How do you see the economy? Are you rolling out any new products? Are you growing? Are you shrinking? What's going on? You need to know all the answers to those questions for a couple of reasons. One, because if they're heading into trouble, you need to know. If they're growing, you need to know. And if you can help them by referring them to somebody who can solve that problem, you need to know, right? And if it's something you can help them with, you need to know. So you have to have, I just answered this question on LinkedIn, and this guy, he said, we send a card at the holidays, and we send a newsletter, and we do. How else could we be connecting with our clients? I said, call them up. Are you kidding? Those are all good. Don't get me wrong. I think they're all good because you're touching them, you're reaching out to them, they're letting them know there, but they're all one way. Relationships. Remember, the second pillar is relationships. You have to build them. You have to nurture them. You have to grow them because then you all grow together. And the expanding of the business is phenomenal. When you're networking with people and you're growing those relationships, you're not going to do business with them right away when you meet them at a networking event. But 2 years later, you might. Or they might refer you to somebody. You never know. But it's those relationships that really matter. That's why when the gal was talking about LinkedIn, and I'm one of the people that says, just don't ask anybody to connect with you. Don't be an open networker. It doesn't mean anything. It's a number. There's no content. There's no value there. Right? So, go ahead.